Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, here back with another reaction video. Today, we're finna react to, does Derrick Rose deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I will give my thoughts and opinions at the end, but for right now, let's just get right into it.
The NBA just recently said goodbye to one of the greatest players in Chicago Bulls history.
Excuse me? Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Horace Grant, Michael Jordan. Shit, Steve Kerr. John Paxson. I could go on and on.
As Derrick Rose decided to call it quits at the age of 35. Rose was a 6'3" point guard who came into the league as the first overall pick in the 2008 draft.
No, I'll just play.
What immediately stood out about Derrick is how he was one of the most athletically gifted and explosive point guards that the league has ever seen. Not only was he lightning fast, but he cut to the basket and finished at the rim as if he was always angry. He was like the point guard version of Shawn Kemp. We've seen a lot of explosive point guards throughout the years, like Russell Westbrook, Steve Francis, and Ja Morant, just to name a few. But if you ask me, none of those guys were quite as explosive as Derrick Rose was at his peak. Not only was he a thunderous dunker, but he was one of the best finishers in league history, as he was equipped with an all-time great layup package. He was the Rookie of the Year winner in the—
So if he had an all-time great layup package, why you rank him at number 6, sir? I ain't forget that video. You put his layup package at number 6. I ain't forget. Derrick Rose layup package is top 2 and it's top 2. It's top 2. It ain't fucking with Kyrie's, but it's definitely top 2.
The 08 to 09 season, and he earned 3 consecutive All-Star selections between 2010 and 2012. The very peak of his career was in 2011 though, which was when he led his Chicago Bulls to a 62-20 record, which was good enough for the best record in the entire league. That year, he averaged 25 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds on nearly 45% shooting. Thanks to this incredible season-long performance, he was rewarded with the league MVP, ahead of Dwight Howard, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant. This made Rose the youngest MVP in league history, as he was only 22 years old, with seemingly his best years long ahead of him. It's also worth noting that this Chicago group was the best defense in the entire league, but they were also in the bottom half of the league offensively. If it wasn't for Rose, they would have been easily one of the top 5 worst offenses in the NBA. I remember it being a massive talking point in the 2011 season, but nowadays, Rose doesn't get nearly enough credit for carrying that team offensively, and he did it in a similar fashion to Allen Iverson in 2001. They made it all the way to the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals, before they were outmatched by LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh of the Miami Heat. Despite the fact that Chicago just lost to Miami in 5 games, and despite the fact that Miami bolstered a super team, people were still speculating whether or not Rose would lead the Bulls to be a rival to the Heat. That's the level of confidence that we all had in this man's potential. Unfortunately, you all know what happened next. After finishing the 2011 to 2012 regular season with the best record in the NBA, Rose went down with an ACL tear in his first game of the 2012 playoffs. He had 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists at the time he got injured. A devastated Bulls team lost 4 out of the next 5 games, as they were easily eliminated by the 8th-seeded Philadelphia 76ers. Not only did Rose miss the entirety of the 2012 playoffs, but he also missed the entirety of the 2012 to 2013 season. He then returned in the 2013 to 14 regular season, but was only able to play in 10 regular season games before an injury to his right meniscus shut down that season as well. By the time that Rose finally got back to a healthy state on the basketball court, he no longer had the same explosiveness, and understandably, he often seemed timid about testing his new limits. Rose eventually became a journeyman, playing for New York, Cleveland, Minnesota, Detroit, and Memphis. But at best, he was a role player during those seasons, as most of the basketball community, including yours truly, was hoping and waiting for him to return to the level of his former glory. For a short period of time, he did have a bit of a resurgence in Minnesota, and even had a 50-point game against the Utah Jazz, which occurred on Halloween night 2018. It's fondly remembered as one of the better feel-good moments in NBA history, as even Rose was emotional after the game was over. In reality, Rose only had the first 4 seasons of his career as a top-tier player. So now, after his retirement, people are beginning to question whether or not he deserves a spot in the Basketball Hall of Fame. First off, I understand why a lot of people think he shouldn't get in. Rose only had 4 seasons of elite-level basketball, and he technically never even reached the prime of his career. If we're simply putting him in the Hall of Fame for what we think he would have been, then that's an unfair and inconsistent standard, since there are many other players who are not currently in that should get in by that logic. The thing is, of the major American sports, basketball probably has the lowest bar for the Hall of Fame. For example, Tracy McGrady was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2017.
You can't use Tracy McGrady. He had a very long tenure. Granted, he never made it past the first round. Granted, he never won an MVP. Granted, he was just a scoring leader. But the thing is, though, his prime was longer than Derrick Rose. We can't use that. No, I'm not allowing that. I'm not allowing the Tracy McGrady disrespect. I'm not allowing it at all. Because Tracy McGrady is better than plenty of other players that are in the Hall of Fame right now. There are plenty of players in the Hall of Fame that Tracy McGrady could, in his prime, could bust their ass. For real. So I'm not even finna allow y'all to get that one off. No, absolutely not.
And much of his career was also seen as a what if, since his playing days were cut short due to his various injuries. T-Mac was a 2-time scoring champion, a 7-time All-Star, and won the Most Improved Player award in 2001. But when you compare that to the resume of Derrick Rose, we really have to ask ourselves which player was more accomplished.
Look at that. All-Star, All-NBA. Come on, dog. Stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap. Stop the cap, bro. Played in more games on top of that as well. Stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap, bro. I'm not allowing this. This is a terrible comparison, bro. Stop the cap.
As Rose was the Rookie of the Year winner in 2009. He earned 3 All-Star selections, and he was the youngest MVP in NBA history in 2011.
That's not a fair assessment to use Rookie of the Year, considering the fact that Tracy McGrady wasn't fully utilized, considering the fact he was a high school player. Back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, back in the 90s, they didn't trust high school players. Kobe didn't even have a great rookie season. But look at his career. Is it not Hall of Fame worthy? Okay then. Nah, I'm not letting y'all I'm not gonna let y'all disrespect Tracy McGrady like that. Fuck out of here.
And that alone is an impressive feat that immortalizes him. Then you have to consider the context of his impact. Outside of the Michael Jordan days, the Bulls franchise has never had much success before or since. And yet, a young athlete in his early 20s led them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they competed with a legitimate super team. Sure, the greatness of Rose was short-lived, but in terms of a player's peak, there's a lot of guys in the Basketball Hall of Fame who never got close to reaching the level of greatness that Rose reached in his early 20s. In conclusion, if guys like Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill are considered good enough to get in, then I don't see how it's fair to keep a guy like Derrick Rose out. So what do you guys think? Does Rose deserve to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame? And how high do you think his ceiling was without the injuries?
Without the injuries, oh, this nigga first ballot. With the way how his career went, fuck no. He's not. He don't have enough accolades. That MVP is not enough. Say what you want, but that MVP is not enough. It's not enough. Think about it. 3 All-Stars, but 2. What was it? What was the graphic? What was it again? Can we go back to it, please? Look at this. 3 All-Star appearances, 1 All-NBA. Compared to somebody who has 7 All-Star appearances and 7 All-NBAs. That MVP and that Rookie of the Year ain't enough. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. Now, granted, people like Bill Walton has gotten into the Hall of Fame. RIP to Bill Walton, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Bill Walton got championships. You know what I'm saying? He got championships. He got prestige to his career. So he still validated and getting in. Versus Derrick Rose. Okay, you got the MVP. All right, cool. You led your team to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. What about since then? Let's see here. You got injured, so you got an early first round elimination against an 8th seed. The next year you don't even fucking play, and y'all get bounced out by the Heat again. The next year, I don't even think y'all made the play. No, y'all did they? Yeah, they made the playoffs. I remember they faced my Bucks in the first round, and Giannis got mad and we got eliminated. Okay, so then there was that second round. You made it to the second round against the Cavs. You had that one little game winner. The next year you don't make it. Then you go to the New York Knicks. You don't make the playoffs again. Then where was it after that? What? Cleveland. Had a mental breakdown and left Cleveland. Considered retirement then. Went to Minnesota. Played decent. Scored 50 points. Good for you. But is that Hall of Fame worthy? Is all this really Hall of Fame worthy though? Absolutely not. I don't think that Derrick Rose gets into the Hall of Fame. It's not enough. It's just not enough. You can bring up Tracy McGrady and say, oh, he never made it past the first round. That's valid. But he has 7 All-Star appearances and 7 All-NBAs. He's led the league in scoring. Tracy McGrady has done some shit throughout his career. His prime wasn't 3 to 4 years. Say what you want about Tracy McGrady, but his prime wasn't 3 to 4 years. I believe Tracy McGrady has 7 good years. Because these all-stars say that he did. Versus the 4 that Derrick Rose had. Come on, Chief. Stop the cap, man. Stop the cap, bro. We got to stop this, bro. It's not enough, bro. I'm sorry. It's just not enough on the resume, bro, to qualify for the Hall of Fame. Even though I feel like the NBA is still going to give it to him just because they want faces. They want that They want that clout for the Hall of Fame. They want clout for the Hall of Fame. That's what they want. And I feel like the NBA gonna give it to him regardless, just for the fanfare. And I don't think that that's fair, but it is what it is. And then to say that the NBA has the lowest bar for the Hall of Fame, that is complete utter bullcrap. Have you seen the WWE Hall of Fame? They got Diddy in there. I don't think the bar goes any lower than that. They have Diddy in their Hall of Fame. So I don't think the bar goes no lower than that. But I digress though. I don't think Derrick Rose deserves it at all. Not enough. I'm one of the few people that, like, I'm not hating on the dude. I was rooting for him when he was in his prime, but once, say he started showing signs that he just, I have like this love-hate relationship with Derrick Rose. At one point, this was like the coldest nigga in the league. Then this nigga don't want to play basketball no more. And it's like, bruh, just retire. If you don't want to play basketball no more, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Why are you forcing yourself to keep doing something that you don't love no more? Because you don't want to get injured. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like Derrick Rose was kind of soft after a couple of years after getting injured. And I know somebody gonna be in the comment section saying that's really insensitive to say. I don't give a fuck. It's my channel. I can say what I want to say. I can feel how I want to feel. I don't give a fuck. I don't have to be compassionate and understand people's feelings. I could give a fuck about somebody's feelings right now because nobody cares about my feelings. I get ridiculed all the time for little shit. You think I give a fuck? No, I don't. So, in my personal opinion, Derrick Rose just does not have enough to qualify. Not saying that he wasn't a great player. Like I said, I was rooting for the guy. But once he started showing signs like, I don't want to play, I don't want to re-injure myself. I want to be able to walk my kids to school. Remember that? I ain't forget. I never forget. I don't smoke and drink like that. So I don't forget. I remember the shit that Derrick Rose was saying, bro. And that right there led me to say, you know what? Derrick Rose is soft. I don't like soft people. So Derrick Rose immediately was no longer in my rotation for like a top 5 or a top 3 player. Because he was in my rotation. I immediately kicked him out after that. I could not agree with that at all. That was egregious what he said. But I digress though. I don't, and me personally, I just don't like when people do that to people because Tracy McGrady actually tried to come. Unlike Derrick Rose, Tracy McGrady actually tried to come back off his injuries. He was just getting up there in age. So it's kind of hard to keep pushing yourself through these injuries and your body continuously keeps breaking down and you're getting older on top of that. So that was Tracy McGrady's problem. Derrick Rose was still young. That's the difference. Derrick Rose was under 25 when all this injury started happening. So I don't want to hear that. There's no excuse you can use for that. No, I will not let the Tracy McGrady slander continue, dog. I'm not letting the Tracy McGrady slander continue, bro. Especially for a nigga like Derrick Rose compared to a dude like Tracy McGrady. Come on, dog. Stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap. Like I said, man, Tracy McGrady is better than damn near a good chunk of players that's in the Hall of Fame right now. I could say the same thing for Derrick Rose, but his resume just doesn't match up to a lot of people in the Hall of Fame. Come on, man. MVP, a Rookie of the Year, 3 All-Star appearances, and 1 All-NBA. That's enough to qualify for the Hall of Fame. If that's enough to qualify for the Hall of Fame, I promise you, if that's enough to qualify for the Hall of Fame, then Kyle Korver should be in the Hall of Fame as well. Fuck you, me. But anyways, though, that's just going to about do it for this one, man. Most definitely, man. Derrick Rose does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I had to get this off my chest because once he announced his retirement, the question already was up and everybody was saying, yeah, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best, man. I love Derrick Rose, man. He was so great, man. He was so awesome, man. I hate when I hate it. I hate when y'all put y'all fanfare against what's real. Just be real. Put your fanfare to the side and just be real. You know he don't deserve that. You know he don't. But y'all dick riders are gonna say what y'all gonna say. I already know how the Derrick Rose fan base works. I know y'all praise this man to death. Y'all suck this man's meat with all might of your jaws. Pause, no diddy. But I understand. But do y'all, nigga, do y'all. Y'all want to suck that meat, then suck that meat. Pause, no Diddy. But anyways, let's just go about do it for this one, man. I'm gonna keep it real over here. I ain't finna fake it and flaunt it to you. I'm gonna give it what you want me to do. Lie to you, make it fly to you? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. You may not like it. I don't give a fuck. Derrick Rose does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and I stand on that. Goodbye.